Yo, it's Brian here. Today, talking about the San Francisco 49ers. As always, looking at the defensive backfield, posing the question to you guys and myself included. Are you concerned about the defensive backfield coming into the 2020 season? I think look at the Super Bowl, the performance that they had against the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a lot of opening eyes, I guess you want to call it, in terms of being questioned about this backfield. Is this a really good backfield? Can they hang with other NFL offenses and the fast receivers that we're going to have to face eventually in the 2020 season? Wanted to pose this question. A lot of things have changed with this roster somewhat. You know, when the defensive line has a little bit of shuffling going on right now in free agency and the draft, I believe that can impact the backfield in a negative and positive way. Going to be talking about that, talking about Richard Sherman and company. I think they have a lot of potential, but there is a little bit of concern coming into the season. We're going to be talking about that, but before I do, please like and subscribe. It's going to help me out a lot. Click that bell notification, get notified of future videos. Share the channel, share this content with fellow Niner faithfuls. Let's get this started. 49ers defensive backfield. Are you concerned coming into the 2020 season? All right, time to talk about the 49ers defensive backfield right now. If you look at the statistics, the numbers for total passing defense allowed, the 49ers, they were first by a large margin. First team was the Niners. The second team was New England Patriots. They ended up allowing only 169 yards a game in terms of passing defense. New England Patriots, they had 180. So that's about a 10-yard difference right there. That's amazing considering that's passing yards per game. The 49ers, a lot of concerns, I think, coming into this season is about the Super Bowl for the most part, because if you look at the regular season and even the postseason run with the Vikings and Packers, they did a pretty good job along the way. The Vikings game, the only thing that they were concerned about was Akella Witherspoon. After they yanked him up for Emmanuel Mosley, everything went seamless, everything was perfect. The Packers game, they just played a flawless game in terms of defense. The Super Bowl, they had their great moments. They had 2 interceptions the whole game against Patrick Mahomes, which is very rare for Patrick to throw interceptions at all. They did a great job, but I think they let the foot off their gas. I think everyone knows that by now, the Super Bowl story. Also, Richard Sherman, he was not having a great day with Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill. They were just too fast for him. He's getting, quote-unquote, a little bit slow in terms of physicality. In terms of intelligence, I still believe he is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL, if not the smartest quarterback in the NFL. Great mind, a Stanford dude. Also, his defensive backfield teammates, I think they have a lot of potential. They're still young, in my opinion. You got Emmanuel Mosley. He has a lot of confidence. I still believe in him. I think he should be their first week starter, no matter who they draft, no matter who they get in the offseason. I believe he should be the man along with Sherman come week 1. I think he's proven himself enough to be that guy to be opposite to Sherman in terms of the cornerback position. You look at the safety position, Jimmy Ward, Chukowski, Tart, when they're healthy, I think they're an effective duo. Then they showed it all year long. Ward got rewarded by a big contract. Tart, he still has a lot of potential in terms of being a great, strong safety for the 49ers. Everything right now, in terms of the starters, I think they look, not too bad. Richard, he's probably the biggest question, not because he can't play or anything like that. It's just, can he keep up with the young receivers that are coming into the league, that are in the league right now? In the division, we have a lot of tough guys within it. You got Cooper Kupp with the Rams, DeAndre Hopkins now with the Arizona Cardinals, the Seahawks, you got Tyler Lockett / DK Metcalf. There's just a lot of guys that Sherman has to go up against for the most part. It's going to be a little bit difficult for him, in my opinion, because these guys are a lot younger than him. I don't know if he can keep up with that. I think that's really the biggest concern coming into this whole season, this whole defensive backfield, is can Sherman keep up with these young guys? Can the backfield hold their own when the defensive line and linebacking core is not having the best days of their lives? Which, for the most part, they did a pretty good job, minus the Super Bowl in 2019. I believe 2020, they can kind of keep it up. I still believe they should find somebody in the draft for Richard's potential successor, or if they're not a fan of any of the cornerbacks that they have right now, they can find somebody opposite to him for the next year or two. There's a lot of options that the 49ers can go forward to in this draft in terms of picking a cornerback. I don't know if it's the biggest priority like a lot of people think it is. I still think receivers, since Emmanuel Sanders is no longer with us in San Francisco, that's a priority. Replacing DeForest Buckner, that might be another option as well. And don't get me wrong, defensive back, that's a big need, but I don't know if it's going to be as big of a need as the positions that we lost in free agency. Also, Jimmy Ward, he got signed to a 3-year deal, so I don't know if you want to be drafting a safety for that, and even then, you can pick Richard Sherman to be a safety in the next year or two if he wants to. I'm assuming that if he knows when his time is up as a cornerback in terms of physicality, he can go to a safety, and I think he would thrive really well in terms of that. I mean, he plays a lot of zone corner. A lot of people criticize him for that, but who cares, man? He does a good job at it. He is a second-team All-Pro this year, coming back from an Achilles injury. I have no complaints at all, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in San Francisco are totally fine with him being a zone cornerback because he's awesome. But it'd be nice to see him go man-to-man once in a while. I'm pretty sure he'll do all right with that, but since he plays zone, I mean, why try to get out of your comfort zone, right? Anyways, look at the 49ers defensive backfield. Is there concern? Yes, but not as much as people think. That's the big answer for you guys. I think with the dominant defensive line, looking at it right now, minus Buckner, the linebacking core, it's all intact with Kwan Alexander, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw all flying around. Also, you got Joe Walker from the Arizona Cardinals. This whole defense is a complete defense. I just think they just need to surefire the cornerback position even more. And Akella Witherspoon, he is the big X factor. He is the big X mark coming into this season. I don't know what's going to be happening with him. Is he going to get cut by the 49ers? Are they done with him essentially? We'll see then. Richard Mosey right now for cornerback position. Ward and Tar as the safety position starters. I think that's a pretty good lineup coming into week 1. Is there subject to change due to injury or bad play? Of course there is, but for me right now, look at this early offseason. I think these 4 guys are going to be the starter coming into the regular season 2020 like it was in the whole playoff run. That's pretty much it, you guys. Pretty quick video right here. Just wanted to talk about this. For me, I am concerned a little bit for the cornerback position in particular, but I think they can go through the flow and have a great year for the most part. I don't know if it's going to be a dominant year like they did in 2019 where they were first by a large margin in passing defense. The defensive line and linebacking core can play really well, which I believe they will. Then the defensive backfield won't be a big problem that a lot of people are making it out to be. Please let me know what you guys think about the defensive backfield. I like to hear what you guys are saying in the comments below. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. That's going to help me out a lot. I'll be catching you guys up tomorrow on a Thursday. I'll see y'all then. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Go Niners all day. Hot boys.